Hi, it's Jen. Today I'm going to start with a giveaway. My last video about building your stash, at the end I had a little giveaway, and it was this Valentine's gift. It's a Wilton spatula, and I just decorated a card, and I shared with you how I did that. And along with building my stash, I also got some of this Sori silk ribbon. So I was going to give you 2 yards, I believe it is, and for you to play with in your journal, and we made this tag together. So the 2 entries that we have, I'll just bring this container over here, is Sherry S. and Karen F. So if one of you ladies win this giveaway, all you need to do is DM me to give me your address, and I'll send it off to you. Alright, so here we go. Alright, and the winner is Sherry S. So you have won my giveaway right now. So you just DM me and I will get this sent out to you as soon as I can. Alright, congratulations. So, as you know from last week, Sundays is building my stash series, and this week I wanted to share with you how I built my stash. The first thing that I did, I have this tin. It's just a vintage vitamin tin, and I like using these labels a lot in different layering projects that I do for my junk journaling, and we used one last week in the tag I showed you how I made. And then as I used it, I thought, you know what, I need to get making some more, so that way I'll have some at the ready. So the stamp set that it came from is, I did share with you last week, but it's Fuel Notes stamp set by Tim Holtz. And I really like that stamp set. So if you don't have it, maybe put that on your wish list. That's a really good one. But I used that stamp, and then the 2 inks that I used. These are pretty old inks from Stampin' Up. I don't know how many years ago it's been since I bought some, but this is Pacific Point, and this is Watermelon Wonder. I know for sure they don't have this one anymore. The Pacific Point, I'm not sure either, but I know for sure this one isn't. But I just really like these colors for these labels. And so what I do is, know how we get cutoffs from when we trim our paper for our junk journals? And we do keep those to use for different projects. Well, I like to use them for this type of thing if I want to stamp something ahead of time and then cut it out. And then that way you have nice tea-dyed paper that it's not going to waste, and plus you get things that you use a lot of. And then what I did this week is I cut out 25 blue and red, and now I'm all set to go. Now I just wanted to share with you something. Right here you'll see sometimes ink gets in the middle of this stamp here, and then it goes on your paper. I keep those because when I do tags like this that I'm just going to cut off, or if I'm layering different pieces, I make sure that some of the pieces cover that, and then that way you're not wasting a stamped label. And so at first when that happened to me, I'm like, oh, I should just chuck it, like recycle the paper and be done with it, right? But then I was creating something, and then it proved to be useful because I just covered it up. So that's one of the make things how I built my stash this week, is creating more labels for me, so that way my tin is full and I can just grab them whenever I want them. And this tin just stays on my desk, so that way I know exactly where they are. Alright, another way how I built my stash this week is I went to the thrift store, and I'm going to share with you some of my goodies that I found. I spent $4 So everything you're going to see here was $4. The first thing that I got was this ledger book. It's not vintage at all. It's brand new, but that doesn't bother me because I can just tea dye, right? And the paper is really beautiful. And if I turn it over, I noticed that the original price was $13.29. So yeah, I got a really good deal there. But I did get that. And then I'll just keep that there. And then I'm trying to juggle this in my hand. I got these 2 pieces of fabric. When I go and get fabric now, I try to find things that go together, so that way if I do a project, then I have all my material. I just really loved this material. It was 25 cents, and it's quite a big piece. And same with this blue, it was 25 cents. So I got that. And then the next thing I got was some lace. This one was 25 cents. This one just had a really nice feel to it, as well as this one. I already started using this one, but this one was 50 cents. And then I got another one for 25 cents. But I'm not done with the lace yet. I saw this bag, and it was for $1, and it was just many different types of lace, and they're just pieces. But for junk journalers, it's perfect, so you get a variety. So I really liked this, and there's some really nice ones in there. So I like that. And then the thing that I really, really enjoy is this piece here. This is a crocheted round tablecloth, and it was $1. Don't know if you can see that here. And there are so many of these medallions on it that I'll be able to use in my junk journaling. And then even the border is just so beautiful. Like, look at this. Isn't that just beautiful? All the work that must have gone into that, eh? So beautiful. So this one was my favorite find. But so that is how I built my stash purchasing stuff, is with these lovely treasures that I got from the thrift store. So I was so excited about that. Especially that tablecloth, the crochet tablecloth. I really can't wait to start using it. Well, I thought I would show you something small that I did this week. Oh, but first, I just wanted to share with you what cleaning project I did in my craft space. This mat I cleaned. Now, I know last week when I was editing the video, I noticed that I'm like, man, there's a lot of glare, but then I realized there's a lot of glue on it. So I hope you're not getting that glare again today. But I cleaned this mat up really nice, so that way it wouldn't have that glare on it. And so that way, if you leave it too long, they can be hard to clean. So that was lovely. And then I just set my timer for 15 minutes, and I just started tidying up on my desk. So those were the 2 little jobs that I did around my craft room this week. Alright, and today the little project that I wanted to share with you is I wanted to do a charm on some pieces that I'm working with, but do you know how you can get tired of doing the same things all the time? And so I really wanted to figure out what I could do different for some charms. And so here is what, I don't know how different it is, and I don't know if anybody else has done this, but here we go. So what I did is I made a material flower charm, and then I just put some dictionary paper tag, and that tag, do you know in my last video how I shared with you that I did the dictionary page prep to be in my stash. Well, when I use those pages, if I have any scraps, I make this type of thing with it, some tags. And so that's where that tag came from, is just from scraps. So I just put a dictionary page tag, a metal bead, and then a pearl. And then I attach that to a bulb pin, and then it's just attached to the bow. Now, I tried using different things for the bow, but this is just what looked the best. Sometimes I can get into a rut when it comes with tags because I really enjoy the look of a bow, but with this one it did look good with it. And then at the bottom of the tag I just stamped "The Earth Laughs and Flowers," and that is by C.C. Cummings. Oh, I can't see. Yep, C.C. Cummings. So I thought that would be just something a little bit different than I'm used to anyway. And so I'm going to quickly share with you how I did it. It's super easy, but I thought I would just share with you anyway, for those that may not know. Alright, so I'll just bring some things out here. So the first thing that I did is I'm going to just go get my Biggs die that I used, and then I'll be right back. Just so that way I can share with you which one it is. Okay, so the die that I used, it's a Sizzix, and it's Fun Flowers, and it was a Stampin' Up one. And I'm sure you could probably get those on eBay still. So that's the die that I used. And then I used 3 different types of material. I really liked this blue with some yellow. And then in the middle, just so that way it can be, so it's not just flimsy with one piece of material, I put a piece of flannel in the middle of it. It's so soft. And it's just cream. So I did a cream piece of flannel, and then just a yellow material for the backing. Now, I tried many different things how to put these together, and I didn't like, well, the first one that I did was sewing, and I really didn't like how it looked sewed together. I sewed all around here, and I really didn't like it. And so then the other thing I did is I just sewed in the middle of the flower. I didn't really prefer that either. And so what I did is I just got my pieces together, and I'm going to do this with you on here. So to keep them together, all I did was put a brad on it. No, that's not a brad. No, it's an eyelet. Sorry, an eyelet. And so I'm going to get the couple things that I got. To help punch a hole in the fabric. So the first thing that I did is I just made sure my material, oops, sorry, that's probably shiny. I just made I made sure my material was somewhat all together. Like, I don't worry about it if it's not perfect. And then what I did is I did cut a piece out of of a packaging material just for a template. I punched a hole in the template to make sure it's exactly where I want it, and then what I do is I place it on top of the flower pieces, and then I use this scrap piece of paper, and then I put this underneath it, and then I did bring in my crocodile, and then I just punch the hole, and then it goes through like a dream. Now, I did punch it with just one piece of card, but it seems to do better if you have a card on both, like the bottom and the top. For me, I just found that it worked a lot better. And then I find that my yellow material needs a little snipping, just because it needs some help. Okay, and then that's done. Now these eyelets that I'm using today, I don't know what size they are. I got this bag of them at a thrift store at some point. So I'm just using these eyelets. I usually try to look for eyelets at the thrift store just because no need purchasing new if you can just get some from the thrift store, right? Alright, now before I move on, I did use the 1/8 hole punch on the crocodile, just so you know, just the 1/8 hole punch. And then I just put that in and then set the eyelet. And there you go. There is your eyelet. So I didn't really worry about any of the material because after I finish putting it together, I just go around the top piece of material and I try to fray the fabric a bit because I still want this looking kind of shabby, right? So if you saw in my example, my tag here, if you saw the edges were kind of frayed and stuff, I did that on purpose just so that way I could just have that look of unkept type of thing. I guess it would be more grungy looking, right? And then I did the same for the back because I didn't want it to look perfect. And this was actually kind of fun to do. So yeah, I did try to sew all the way around it and it just didn't look right. And so this way, when you put 3 layers of material, you still get that feeling of like the layered flower, and it's not too thin. And it's not too thick either with the 3 pieces. It just gives it a little bit stability. And because I want to start using more of my fabrics and stuff instead of them just sitting around, you know, in my bins or cupboard, we can actually use them to make a really neat charm for our junk journals. And then, you know what guys, that's it. And then you can decorate it however you like. If you want to, you can use lace on these too. You don't have to use a tag. I did try it with it hanging with different things. Here, I'll show you what it looks like with hanging with some lace. And these can be put into your journals anywhere where you would hang any type of charm. And these will fray. Like I didn't fray the middle one. I meant to say that. I didn't fray the middle one. I just wanted the front and backs to be frayed. And the flannel's there just to give it a little bit of like stability and softness to the flower itself. I really like how this material frays as well. It looks really good, I thought. Well, I hope you enjoyed this small little tutorial of something that I wanted to create this week, a different charm for my journal. And these are so fun to do. I hope you give it a try, and thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, let's not throw away your junk. Let's journal with it. Take care, guys. Bye.